Hello everyone, my name is Jonathan Paik. I'm the Orange County Director of the Korean Research Center. Thank you for coming to this fall press conference to be able to discuss a very important issue that is coming up in the city of Fullerton, which is a measure or resolution called Safe Environment for Children. And it's going to be a resolution that's going to be introduced first at the Fullerton Joint Union High School District, which is the school board for the high school in Fullerton. As folks may know, Fullerton has one of the largest Korean American populations in Southern California, with over 15,000 Korean Americans currently living in Fullerton right now. And what we wanted to do was ensure that with the number of school districts and a lot of fear that's coming into our community because of the Trump administration running immigration, we wanted to ensure that students felt safe at every public school in Fullerton by ensuring that every school board currently right now does not comply or partner with ICE officials or share any information about any individual students or families of student status with immigration agents for the federal government. Being able to ensure that there's a safe and healthy environment for students to be able to learn in public schools. And so currently right now the Korean Resource Center has been working to be able to advocate and educate local school board members in Fullerton and being able to ensure that this resolution passes. The first hearing is going to be happening tomorrow on April 18th, starting at 7:30 p.m. And that hearing is going to be around education and being able to learn and have a presentation around what a safe environment for children resolution would actually mean. As each of you has actually been shared in hand, that is going to be the draft resolution measure that people are going to be introduced and be learning about. And that first vote of whether this resolution is going to pass is going to be on May 4th. What we want to be able to emphasize to the Korean American community is that we all know that that immigration issues have hit Korean American residents in Southern California, and it has been a very challenging time this past year. But we want to ensure and let the Fullerton Joint Union High School District know that the school board is responsible for the safety as well as the health and well-being of all students in the United States, as well as being able to ensure that every student, regardless of their immigration status, has a right to a healthy lifestyle and a healthy education moving forward. And that is no different in Orange County. And so that is going to be our stance. We're going to continue. We just finished our first canvass going door to door this past Saturday to talk to Asian American voters all across North Orange, all across Fullerton, where we've received an immense amount of support from Korean American residents being able to support this measure in Fullerton. And we're going to continue to do outreach and community education for Asian American residents all across Fullerton moving forward.
Does it have any legal protection or legal effect in terms of resolution, or usually the ones that has an impact but doesn't have actual legal legal power to prevent them from actually, maybe ICE agent coming to the school? What is expected effect of having this resolution passed?
Well, currently right now, the effect of this measure would require that ICE agents, for example, would not be able to come onto the grounds of any public schools without the approval of the superintendent first. And so what it would require legally for federal agents to do is go through the proper channels before they either encounter or they try to go to any school to be able to talk to any students or talk to any of the families of students. And so what it does is that it adds a layer of protection for our communities by being able to say that it has to go through the proper channels before going in and enforcing any kind of policy that they see fit.
So it's actually a measure, not the resolution.
It is going to be a resolution. It's going to be a resolution that the school board is going to adopt. And therefore, this resolution, when being passed, will be able to further add securities and protections for community members and specifically students.
So it is a resolution, but it is an actual measure that has a legal legality to it.
That is our understanding. That is our understanding, yes.
And it applies to all the Fullerton educational district.
Currently, right now, the first district that's actually going to be introducing this is the high school district specifically. And that's where a lot of our popular high schools, where a lot of Korean American students attend, like Sunny Hills High School, Troy High School, Sonora High School, all these schools right now in North Orange County that's going to be passing this first. The week after, on May 25th, the Fullerton Elementary School District will be introducing a very similar measure, but the language for that measure has yet to be released.
How does this ICE agent break down on public schools right now?
Well, currently right now is that there's a number of school boards across the county, in Orange County as well as in LA County, that are looking to be able to protect students and be able to take official acts or measures to be able to ensure that ICE agents don't come onto school premises or grounds, and ensuring that immigration agents, unless they're going through proper channels, whether that's through the school district alone or whether that's through like a superintendent, that they are actually allowed to be able to come on campus. What we do find right now is that because of the fear that is within the community, there's a lot of students that are actually really nervous about what could happen or what might happen, and being in terms of from fear of deportation. And what we want to do is make sure that school districts and school boards are taking stands against any of that fear and ensuring and protecting the students' quality of education and quality of life.
I'm going to take more shots of. Yeah.
Are there any questions?
Jonathan, can I ask you
Sure.
some questions other than just this subject?
Okay, sure.
Yeah. It's an immigration issue, but lately, I think it was last Sunday yesterday, that the head of Homeland Security Department had a press interview with the press, saying that there will be strong enforcement for the undocumented people who have been coming to coming to U.S. legally, but overstayed after their legal visa status has expired. They're gonna track them down, and the other element is that they're gonna pursue, try to track down those undocumented citizens who has been convicted of DUI. So anybody with not serious crime matter, but who has been illegally staying in, overstaying, whatever you want to put it, but who is not a serious criminal, but who has committed some kind of crime activity. DUI is considered act of crime. So he said that on the interview with NBC program called Meet the Press. Are there a lot of fear amongst the Korean American community that these crackdowns of undocumented, it's actually is fear rising, and people do have a lot of concerns about that. Well, how are KRC in terms of do you get a lot of calls, or do you get a lot of people ask for help? A lot of people come to help in KRC, things like that.
Yes, and so currently right now the KRC has seen a spike in the number of interest of community members. One, who are actually very nervous or scared of what the federal administration or what the presidential administration is saying currently right now about their immigration policy. We're seeing right now a lot of questions from community members like what would happen to me or my family or my friends. And there's been a lot of, we've actually seen a huge volume of calls actually coming in both into our offices in Los Angeles as well as in Orange County. And so for us right now, we have offered the rapid response hotline, which has been public now and live starting in the beginning of this year. And so we've been answering both emergency responses as well as everyday questions from our Immigrant Rights Project team, and any community member that is that have any kind of questions about what happens right now or what is the best move forward. They are more than welcome to be able to call our offices and and we're able to help any of our community members who are in need.
Well, currently we're seeing all the projected fears. Like, you know, a couple months ago when you guys started the hotline, you know, 2-3 months ago, you know, there was a growing fears.
Mm-hmm.
But now we see some of those fears actually come into reality.
Mm-hmm.
And we see people who get arrested in the courthouses.
That's right.
Yeah, and you see people who get arrested in their workplace.
Mm-hmm.
What is it something that they really need to watch out for? Or is it something that they just, it's a fear, only fears, and it's only in their words? What are some of the things that are actually happening, which was reported to, and you guys are aware of, right now in this anti-immigration situation?
So just to repeat the question, is the question then that what are specific instances or specific events that have happened?
Yeah, that really have affected Korean American community. Not only Korean American community, but is fear actually coming to reality?
Sure. So, some of the fears that we've seen right now and that we've heard from the community is, we have actually served a ton of community members, especially Korean American community members, around deferred action, which is basically a protection from deportation for children who had arrived and their children with their families. And because it's an executive order, there's a lot of concern from the community what President Trump is going to be doing about that executive order. And so right now, because there has been no change in the DACA program right now. What we're trying to do is ensure that for the communities that please stay patient, stay put. We have to still have a stronger understanding and evaluate what's going to be happening in the community right now, and then after respond accordingly, whether it is going to be increased or expanded provision of services, or whether that transforms into the advocacy that we need in our communities, just like we're doing in Fullerton right now. And so right now, those are the concerns that we've been seeing every day as people call in, is about from the status of being undocumented, being protected under DACA, or even being legal permanent residents at this point. We're going to be fielding any of those questions and concerns that people have been raising to us every day. A lot of that being around because the immigration platform and policy is pretty unclear, but also they're trying to instill a lot of fear in the community, like you said. That is something that we're going to be analyzing, assessing, evaluating, and responding accordingly on behalf of an advocate for the community.
Was there a lot of calls from undocumented person or people regarding actual arrest or arrest attempts?
Well, I think as of right now, I am not familiar. I mean, because that is going to be a department question for actually a different director. Would be happy to be able to redirect any of those questions if there's been any cases or specific incidences that we've come across.
What about, this resolution is obvious for students, the younger students. Was there enough fear amongst the students to adopt a measure like this? Was there enough evidence of fear, or concerns that has been strong enough so that you guys have to push for resolutions like this?
Absolutely. So, we've been working closely with local school board members, local teachers, as well as students in the community and neighborhood who have all heard of or have expressed concern about what the political environment is and what it means for their families and friends. And so, because there's a growing fear of deportation for a lot of our community members, we found that it was necessary for us to be able to advocate for this resolution in North County and in Fullerton, because we do know that Korean Americans are one of the highest impacted communities of being undocumented, of the Asian American community. And we wanted to know that within one of the largest Asian American populations in Southern California, that we would be able to advocate for this policy and resolution because we understand its impact broadly in a city or in a school board like Fullerton.
Was there a number that you guys estimate in terms of undocumented population, Korean American population in Southern California and Orange County? Is there any stats you can give us?
Sure. So I don't know if I can provide it specifically in Orange County or in Fullerton because that information is a little harder, but what we do know nationally is that 1 in 7 Korean Americans nationally are considered to be undocumented. And with the Korean American population here in Southern California being probably the largest in LA County and in Orange County in the country, we do presume that there is going to be a large impact with policies and resolutions like this because of how heavily impacted the Korean American community is around immigration policy.
What can nonprofits like KRC do for citizens when there is actually immigration raid and there's a hotline, but that's like maybe advise about what to say, what not to say, what their rights are. But is there any other that nonprofits like KRC can do for undocumented person when there's an actual raid situation and they're about to get arrested? What are some of the things that you guys can provide?
Okay, sure. So on top of the rapid response hotline and know your rights work, right? Like a lot of our workshops have been around like what your rights are if and when an ICE agent comes to your door. Really, I think for us right now, what we're able to do, one is that if there is ever situations where detention, incarceration, or a pickup happens from an ICE agent, that our organization is going to make to the best of our commitment to be able to advocate for the release or for any kind of services that are needed or provided for that said individual. What we wanted to be able to do, I mean, right now we're kind of in an unprecedented time of what these resources look like. But what we can guarantee, though, is that KRC is going to be the Korean American organization in Southern California that's going to be able to advocate for any residents who are picked up or detained. And that at the end of the day for us is that we're going to be that we will bring community members together to educate, advocate, and be able to ensure prevention that detention and incarceration like this never happens again. Yes.
Is there a way for detaining or way for KRC to actually find out if there's a Korean American detainee, or can Korean American detainee, if there is one, can they, when they're detained by ICE, can they reach out to KRC? Is that
yes
for any kind of legal help?
Sure. So our phone number is always available in that case as well, for our office number as well as the hotline number. If there's any other, that's actually what the rapid response hotline is actually there for, is to be able to actually have another person on the phone to be able to lead to any attorneys that we have who have volunteered to be able to advocate on behalf of the community member who may be in trouble. And so that rapid response hotline is really kind of the best resource to be able to use and call, to be able to access resources for both mental health as well as for legal services for any community member that might find themselves in that type of danger.
Can there way for you guys to find out if there's a Korean detainee, or is that something that has to be them actually get in contact with you?
Well, that's a good question. I'm not equipped to answer that question specifically, but for those questions, I'd be happy to be able to refer you to someone who could probably answer that much better than I can. But yeah. But,
Can you
yes.
explain more about this measure, except that schools should not give any information to organizations?
Yes.
What kind of other measures?
Oh, what kind of other things does it do?
Yeah.
Oh, so some of the other things that it does, for example, is that it actually provides training for counselors, faculty, and administration to actually be able to talk to students and the families of students who are going through a hard time because of the political environment. So, for example, if students are very stressed or are very anxious about the fear of deportation, that students and faculty members and administration, like teachers, would actually be able to be trained and equipped to be able to actually talk to students about these issues, lead them to the right resources. So what we're trying to do is not only protect them from any kind of like outside danger, but also create an environment within the school that's safe, as well as conducive for the students' health within each of the public schools.
So that was included in that measure?
That's correct. And so right now there's going to be access to that training if the resolution as it stands passes. And what we're going to continue to do is continue to expand these type of resources for students and residents, undocumented families all across Orange County to be able to feel safe within their public schools and to have increased access to these types of resources at schools.
As long as I understand that there's like a policy that ICE agents should not go to the crackdown on the public schools. So what's the difference from this measure and the existing policy?
Sure. So each of these school boards actually have to pass it independently. And so, though, like LA Unified School District, for example, has passed this measure, Fullerton has not. And so it's actually determined by local jurisdiction. And so, because Fullerton has such a large like Latino and Asian American population, we found that it was imperative for us to be able to advocate for a policy like this.
Okay, so Fullerton did not have.
They do not. Yeah. Well, not yet. But I think for us, I think our last thing is that we want to ensure that if anyone has any questions about this measure or want to get involved, they should call our Orange County office at 714-869. 869. I can't believe it's not there. But 714. Well, I'm sorry.
It's on my phone. I could get it.
7624. 714-869. And
Can you say it?
yes, I just want to confirm that. Actually, almost there.
Oh, it's still loading. Okay, yeah. 714 869 7624.
Yes.
7624.
Yes. And they should be calling for my name, Jonathan Pig, and I will be sure to let them know how they can get involved if folks would like to attend the meeting. The meeting is tomorrow on April 18th at 7:30 p.m. at 1051 West Basson Cherry Road in Fullerton, California. And people can express their concerns directly to the board. And we're going to be educating our board of trustees what this measure means and why it's important. Great.
So your last name in Korean is Bang,
Hey.
right?
Yes.
Or if you want the number, Fullerton has the largest Korean American population in Orange County. Yeah, they have more than 15,000 Korean Americans.
What do you think about the AD-16? Undocumented are so worried about their information can be from the AD-60 can be sent to the ICE agent. People are worried about that. What do you
Oh, with like state
Okay.
database in California?
The
driver's license,
yes,
right.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
People were worried about that. So,
Right.
is there
Is there any truth to that, or is
Yeah.
that the question? So I think right now, so again, I'm not going to be the best person to contact for that information.
Who?
Sure.
Alright, it'll
Maybe
be
Jenny.
Jenny.
Jenny's
Ah.
on.
Jenny.
Yeah.
Is she in the office today?
She's going to be in the. She's in Kingsley
The
today.
Kingsley office.
Yeah. She's on 6th and Kingsley right now. Yeah. But she can directly answer any of those questions. Yeah.
Do you need her phone number or do you?
I have.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.